have a new lab called the TEDxNUS Qt Center, and if you want to see our work, you can see the website here, mixedrealitylab.org, and you can also send me a Twitter message. I've given up on email, so because I just can't get past, I just can't keep up. So you can send me a Twitter message at Adrian Cheok, or call me if you want. Ask my number after. So today I'm actually not going to talk about my work. I'm going to because actually I think quite a few of the students have already seen me talk last month at the University Live. And so at 4 o'clock this morning, I decided to completely reboot my slides. And then I went to bed at 7. That's why I look very sleepy right now. But actually, another reason I'm sleepy is because of this. Actually, we've seen a lot of talks. And frankly speaking, I just added a new slide right now, 5 seconds ago. This is like real time. So who here is old enough to know, where's the laser pointer? This person. Who said that? You deserve an A. Okay. And this, of course, we know who this is. Who's this? Okay. Chevin, everyone should know, even the young people should know that. Okay, so he was, Henry Kissinger is very famous because he's the great negotiator, okay? So he negotiated, there's proliferation of nuclear bombs and a lot of stuff happening in the 70s and 80s, and he was the great negotiator around the world. He negotiated the end of the Vietnam War and all this kind of thing, okay? So the reason I put this guy up is because I think after sitting here today, we need a Henry Kissinger for TEDx conferences, okay? There's too many going on, and right now there's one going at NTU, and I was just sitting in the control room, and they're actually comparing how many viewers are here viewing the stream from here and how many viewing the stream from NTU, like some great competition. So please get Henry Kissinger to negotiate, and let's just have one, good TEDx conference. Yeah, right? Okay. Okay. And also, I'm sorry to say, okay, this is coming next. But anyway, this is what I thought about at 4 in the morning. So it might seem a bit crazy, but actually, frankly speaking, I wanted to talk instead about my work, and not just my work, my students' work. Actually, they do all the hard work now. I'm getting too old. So I wanted to talk about at the meta level about how to be visionary and how to have passion. But actually, frankly speaking, today I've heard the word passion and vision so many times. I really think we've heard it like 1,000 times. So I'm not really sure what I'm going to say. I was going to say, don't be visionary and don't be passionate, just to be the rebel. But anyway, this was an idea I had. I actually first thought of this, that everyone in my life corresponded to some Star Wars character. All right. So my boss is a professor here at NUS. He's like Yoda. He's like this great, he just philosophizes all day, doesn't make any, right? And you ask him like some direct question and you just get some philosophical answer. And I've got one, okay, and then, basically I think all of you think carefully, probably everyone in your life should correspond to some Star Wars character. So that was my first thought. That was actually on Tuesday night when I was a little bit drunk, actually, at a party. But then I thought, I could expand this. I think everything in life can be learnt from Star Wars. And this is my thesis for today. Okay, so first of all, actually, frankly speaking, this is true. This first one is a personal one. Dream. And I think that for every generation, they see something and it makes them dream, what do they want to do when they grow up? So when I was about 7 or 6. Now I'm showing my age. The first Star Wars came out, the good one, not the crap one that came out later. Okay, and this is the scene where Princess Leia comes out and she says, "Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi, your only hope." And I saw this when I was like, I think 6 or 7. I was like, wow, that is just amazing. I want to do this, And I think basically I spent the next 20 years of my life, of course, we had to go to school and all that boring stuff. And, but then finally, I then started a lab here. I don't know how they let me here in the US. And then this is the real thing. We did it 20 years later. This is actually about 10 years ago now. So even 10 years ago this happened, okay? So this is like a real 3D capture and display in real time, okay? So after that, I felt kind of one of my dreams came true, okay? So I think, but okay, maybe I want to say, maybe this hasn't been said before. Had a lot of talk about passion and vision, which is great. But frankly speaking, without a lot of hard work, you really can't make your dreams come true. I think there's no secret. Basically, you got to have the dream, you got to have the vision, but without putting a lot of work, a lot of hard hours, a lot of long hours, forget weekends and forget sleep, you won't get there, all right? Because if you don't do it, if you don't work like that, I'll tell you what, there's 1 billion people in China and I think 800 million people in India and a lot of very crazy people in America and Silicon Valley that are working like that. Okay, so one disadvantage of Singapore is it's too easy. You grow up here and it's like, oh, so easy, everything's clean and easy, and so you kind of get a bit floppy, like lazy. So don't be like that. Be very. You got to work hard. So that's my little lecture now for that. Okay, so then the opposite, fun. Okay, so yes, I just said now about the hard work, but I think that right in this age, without passion, without doing something that you think is really fun, it's very difficult to succeed. So last week I was in Palo Alto, and I had the pleasure of meeting Tim O'Reilly, and he said basically his word of advice, which I also want to give, is whatever you find fun to do, that's what you should do. Because if you do something, for example, you say, okay, I want to be a millionaire, and the last 10 people who became millionaires did this, then probably you're going to do something very boring. Okay, you used to be following the sheep. Okay, and normally the people who become very successful did something that they found amazingly fun. Okay, and then the money and everything else normally follows. Okay, so see money as a fuel. Okay, so if you have a car, the purpose of the car is not to drive from one gas station to the next. Okay, the purpose of having the car is to do something fun, and then you go and fill up with fuel. So see money as the fuel, but not the goal. Okay, the purpose of buying the car is not to fill up with fuel. Fail. I think this is one thing that we all have to learn very, 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 very deeply. Okay, because especially those people who grew up in Singapore, failure was not an option. Okay, right? All this streaming in the schools and all that kind of stuff. All right, but I think you have to forget what you learned and then relearn. Learn how to fail. Okay, so I put this Death Star. I couldn't think of basically the Death Star blew up the planet, but they didn't give up. Okay, eventually they blew up the Death Star. But anyway, so I was in as mentioned, I was in Palo Alto last week, and I heard a story from someone who's very rich, probably is a billionaire, probably got more money than I can ever dream of, and he's one of the original PayPal investors, things like that. But he said, like when he just gave a story of so many failures he had, and even on tech companies and this kind of thing, and also he said, he's I think he's Indian or Middle Eastern family, but in America, and his father said, look, my only son, I want you to take over the company, which was some meat producing company or something, but it was very big. And he said he totally ruined his father's company, right? So even his father was pretty angry at him. But then he became one of the richest people because he just kept going, and PayPal is very big, got I think bought by eBay. But basically, all those people I've met who have been very successful have failed many times. So don't be afraid to fail, and keep failing, all right? Even every day. That's very important. And so. Right now we have these things going up in Japan, and unluckily I was in Japan on the very time of the earthquake in Tokyo, but the people didn't panic, and I was very impressed with that. Okay, so instead of just going around and panic, I felt this is like samurai. Okay, keep going until the death. All right, don't fail. Don't worry about failure. Okay, rebel. Okay, actually, if I want to be a Star Wars character, I think Han Solo I want to be. Okay. Anyway, so I think it's very, very important, especially in this age, to do something different. The reason is because this is, as you know, we live in 21st century now, okay? We're not, 20th century, forget it, okay? And so what it means is that creativity is actually critical. It's critical for you, for your career, and it's critical actually for the whole country. And one of the reasons is because 20th century was it was more the industrial age, right? We perfected manufacturing, we perfected making things in factories and factorization. And so what we needed at that time was not creativity. We needed a lot of people, like Henry Ford's production system, right? One guy just all day putting on that wheel, and the other guy's like, I don't know, turning a nut, right? So you didn't need creativity for that. You just need some people to do that, okay? So, but the problem is that we got to the point where things that you can make are almost getting to be commodity items, all right? So as you know, this is because of the effect of many things, but globalization is one of them, all right? So it's basically anything you can make can be made cheaper in China. And even now, actually, I remember going to China, bought a shirt, and I was actually really surprised. It's not even made in China; it's made in Vietnam. And even China's becoming too expensive for making things now. So, I think a lot of you have the Apple iPhone, Apple iPad, and you open the beautiful box. It doesn't say made in California. It's designed in California. Okay, it's not. Believe me, nothing is made in Apple factory there. Okay, so, but they make big profit. Okay, because the profit is in the design, is in the creativity, right? So you have to value add, because there's no way you can compete with a billion people in China, and now even, as I said, Vietnam, next will be Myanmar, who knows where it'll be. The company is just going to find the cheaper and cheaper place to make things, okay? So that means you have to then use your brain. And to do that, you need to be creative. And fortunately or unfortunately, to be creative, you have to be rebellious. Right? Because if you're just following what the last 10 people did, or like I said before, it's incremental. So the value add is very small. You've got to think, what can I do that will shock people, right? So as was mentioned, I have a lab here, the mixed reality lab, and I've got great students in the lab. And I don't tell them follow me. I tell them shock me, okay? Because if you do trying to emulate me, then it'll be quite boring because it's done already, okay? So shock me and shock everyone. Be a rebel, okay? Action, okay? So especially a lot of the younger students, when they come to the lab, they're doing a lot of reading and trying to work out the perfect solution. And I won't name names, but one of my students, we had a long discussion yesterday. And I said, basically, read Hamlet, okay? Who here has read Hamlet? Okay, oh, good, great. Who here under 25 has read Hamlet? Oh, these guys are organisers, okay. Okay. No wonder you organised TEDx, okay. Anyway, please read Hamlet. But I think Hamlet maybe is too long for the young generation, so read the abstract of Hamlet on Wikipedia, okay? All right? So basically, especially as I mentioned, we're now in the 21st century, and the knowledge itself is not really useful anymore. All right. So in the 20th century, we wanted to discover, okay, what is smaller than a proton? Okay, and then you go bore. I don't know. I forgot all that physics stuff, but you go deeper and deeper, and then finally, who cares? The whole thing is just waves, probably, okay? So, the thing is that we've already got to that kind of knowledge is not really going to change anything in the world. The big problems in the world, you need to do not just knowledge, but also action. You think about environment, poverty, endless. Poverty is a good example. 20th century solution was, there's a lot of poor countries in Africa, let's give them a lot of money. Okay, and then that's fine. And I've actually had the chance to meet some, I think Prime Minister of Tanzania last year or something. He said, that actually ruined Africa because we've got all this money, and then no one expects to work because you just got this money, right? So these big problems need system solutions, right, and action. And so knowledge without action is actually not very useful anymore. So don't be like Hamlet, So Hamlet was, okay, I'll give you the Twitter version. Someone said Twitter version. Okay, so basically, his father's a king. His father got murdered, and he spent a lot of time philosophizing whether he should revenge his father. And in the end, he died himself. Hamlet, he got killed. So basically, don't be like Hamlet. Okay, take action. Okay, it's no point philosophizing about killing Darth Vader. You just got to go do it. Okay. Okay, love. Okay. Got 2 minutes and 30 seconds left. Okay, love. Okay, well, the reason I put this is because a lot of young people here thinking about their career and making a lot of money and being successful, this kind of thing, which is quite normal. But I want to say to you one thing is that okay, who knows who this is? Right. Okay. Well, you know that. Okay. So you see, the thing is that he had a great love with the princess, and of course she got pregnant, right? And no, I mean not of course, because otherwise there'll be no Princess Leia, okay? Right. Anyway, or Luke Skywalker, okay? Anyways, the thing is that he decided that even though he had this great love, and she told him, she got very worried about him, but he was lusting for the power, okay? And he joined the dark side of the Force, all right? And then, of course, and that totally destroyed him, okay? And, okay, I might look young, when I get to a taxi and I say, go to NUS, I was driving at a PGP, but I say, no, actually I'm in the professor's house. So maybe I look young, but I'm not so young. But what I've learned in my 39 years of being on this planet is love is the most important, okay? If you give up love for money or for power or for fame, it'll destroy you, okay? And I've seen a lot of people like that. And you just have to think of some famous people like Michael Jackson. I mean, you think he'd be the happiest person on this planet, okay? He's so famous, he was so rich, but he was a total nutcase, right? Sleeping in the oxygen tent, and, he didn't have any friends, and, so, because he had no love, right? So love is the most important, okay? More, and you've got to be more like, next, this, okay? This, okay? Right? And remember what I said, I'm Han Solo, okay? Okay? All right. Next. Speed. As I mentioned before, we're in the 21st century. Now, this might be unfortunate or fortunate, but we can't go backwards in time anymore, okay? You've seen like in Egypt, they tried to cut off the internet, and they actually did for a couple, 1 or 2 days. But then people just started dialing up to Europe and using, those old analog modems. Basically, unless you're going to put a gun to someone's head now, it's impossible to stop this amazing change that happened because of the internet. So basically, what it means is that everything has become much faster, moving at almost light speed. So the like Google, they don't, before the Microsoft model is we will make our product, try to make our product very, very good, very robust, and then release it. Okay, it takes years, but it never worked. It doesn't work. It's a very complex age now. And the Google model is we just release it and we keep iterating. Okay, so move fast. If you've got a good idea, move very quickly and get it out there. And also, you really have to, now, people's attention span is very, very short, okay? You've got to really tell your idea very succinctly, very quickly, okay? Now, I know there's a joke about what would you say if you met Bill Gates, and this is a really true story. I actually was in Davos 2 years ago giving a talk, and I went to the toilet, and next to me is Bill Gates, right? And I just was, I don't want to say because we're both urinating, right? So, right. But anyway, I missed my chance. No. Afterwards, I had a few words with him. Okay, but anyway, so the thing is that, yes, I always tell my students when they give like a little bit long-winded presentation, I say, imagine you're presenting to Bill Gates, right? And he will tell me in like 5 seconds, what is your idea, okay? So you've got to be very fast now. Okay, revolution. Okay, see the rebellion there, okay? But this is my final point. We are going through revolution, and it's because of this is the first time in humanity that we've been able to communicate instantly and globally 24 hours a day to anyone, right? The average American teenager I recently read, sends about 6,000 messages, text messages, just text messages, not counting all those MSN things. 6,000 text messages per month, right? You do some calculation and work that out. It's about every 5 minutes, okay? So we have basically never been so connected. And what this means is that, like it or not, this is going to change almost anything that can be changed will be changed by the internet. And since we're at the university, this TEDxNUS, I want to give the example of the universities. This model of, of a professor giving some information to the student, I think is completely outdated, all right? Because it's actually very pointless, right? You go to those lectures and you sit there for 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I don't know how long that, and then you could probably find that in, the students could find the information 10 times faster on the internet, okay? So education is going to have to change. It's going to be a revolution, and I think what will happen is that basically I think I'm the last generation of the traditional professor. We are dinosaurs, okay? We're going to die out very soon. But I think the value of professor still is going to be more like hands-on, right? Hands-on, interactive. That's the value of being together. Okay, so the revolution is happening, and you have to think carefully. Don't think what did your parents do, or even your older brothers do, or that's just really all going to change very rapidly. So we have to think what's going to happen, and you've got to try to predict the future by inventing the future. Now, I used to think that, for example, universities and things like would change very slowly, but you look what happened recently. Libya, Libya hasn't finished yet. Egypt, and where was the country before? Tunisia, and before that, Yemen, right? Yemen. All right, still haven't, right? Okay, Yemen still haven't. But basically, 5 months ago, would you imagine that Twitter and Facebook could cause revolutions? No, right? But it's happening right now. And so now I'm thinking that instead of gradual change we're going to actually see a lot of tipping points. Suddenly, things will just rapidly change like they're happening in the Middle East now. So I think I've run out of time. I just want to say, be the rebel and start the revolution. Thank you.